This is nice. Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today is May 15th, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll put it over here. If I'm not wrong, I will not put it over here. Cake batter chapstick. I didn't do anything to my face. No foundation, no makeup, just skincare. I did just apply face moisturizer because I wasn't sure if I was going to do a full face or not, and I did put on the Volition eye serum just underneath my eyes. So I wasn't going to do my brows because I was going to try something. I have a lot of things to show you, but I'm going to do the brows while I do the introduction. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Dion. This I call the Crazy Troll Nation. This is the Fenty Brow MVP in dark black. Is it, or is it deep black? This one is deep black. I call this the Crazy Troll Nation because I be acting wacky. I have on my lab coat because this indicates that this is a for real experiment. So I'm doing something I have not done before. Well, the combination that I haven't done before. And so I am excited about it. I do think it's going to be good, but then sometimes what I think is going to be good isn't. So the crazy is just trying new things, enjoying doing videos, and enjoying the videos that you watch. This is so janky already on this side. Look at that. Why is that looking red? And the troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. Wear whatever you want to wear. Use whatever tool you want to use. Use whatever technique you want to use to get your makeup on in a way that you're satisfied with it. Try not to feel like you need to do your makeup or use stuff that other people use. Use whatever you want to, how you want to, and my eyes are burning. I did notice that under eye cream, serum, whatever it is, serum it says, but it's thick like a cream though, but not super thick. I did notice before, and I digress a lot, I'll be talking about one thing and switch up sentences, that it does burn. My eyes will burn for like 10 or 15 minutes and then it'll stop. And I think it's whatever fragrance is in it or natural scent that is in it, because I can smell it and it smells strong. But after a while it dissipates and my eyes are fine. I haven't had any rashes or milia developing under my eyes. And you can also use this on your lids too. And sometimes I do use it up there. So this is the Crazy Troll Nation. Just doing your own thing and just rocking it. And I appreciate you being here along for the ride with me, because you can be anywhere watching anybody and you're here to see what the troll is going to do, and I appreciate that. I do use foul language in my videos sometimes because I do curse in real life sometimes. I do try to catch myself. Sometimes I'm good at it and sometimes I'm not good at it. So what you see really is what you get. So that is the concept of the Crazy Troll Nation. Beneath all of the wearing whatever you want to wear and just rocking it, here at the Crazy Troll Nation, we are about self-acceptance and self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even without face paint on. That is what we stand for here on this channel, and I really do hope that that resonates with you. I'm going to edit out finishing my brows because this is taking longer than I thought. We're going to leave the brows like this. They will be crosstown neighbors today versus cross-country friends. So we're going to stop while they're somewhat the same. The first, I have a few things to show you. So I'm going to show you these things and then we're going to get into why we're here today. I did put together my Nomad palette from the 6 shadows that I purchased from the Wildflower palette. This is Tamed. This is Foxglove. This, no, wait a minute, because it's upside down. This is Untamed. This is Wilted. This is Thorn. This here is Cyanus. This is Foxglove. And this one is Nightshade. I'm excited about this. This shade here does go with all of these. This one will probably be just a transition shade for me. This will be a nice pop for like inner transition area, I think. And of course, the deeper purple what I was getting ready to say was like, what? The deep purple in this shade here will be nice just for deepening shades or just on the lid, because I do like a dark eye and a dark lip. So I am excited about this little palette, and I do see me using these shades with my other lethal shades and other palettes. Speaking of using other palettes, I still have not used this yet either. The Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Eyeshadow Palette, and this is Velvet Liaison, which is all mattes. I wasn't going to do my brows initially because I was going to use this shade for my brows, and then I thought, you know what, let me just not do that in this experiment, because I'm like, I don't know how that's going to look. And so I didn't want, you know, my look to be too busted if it does come out busted. But this is an all matte palette. I do wish it was deeper, but I also do think I will get a lot of variety out of this using this as a companion palette for another palette. And the other one I'm going to show you, I am really excited about, but this brow right here is irritating me because there's like a gap, like right here, like a light patch. I'm seeing other patches, but we're just going to leave it. So this is what I wanted to show you. This is the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette because it has 3 multi-chromes in it, which were these 3 shades right here. Does this look different to you? Does this look different than the Triochrome palette? These 3 shades right here are from the Heather Alston Adept Cosmetics palette because look like they belong there though, right? And I haven't used them with these matte shades yet. These are the shades that were in the Triochrome palette. The top 2 I used when I did the look, one eye, the other row, the other eye. I had a bad reaction to these shadows, and so I never used this one. And I do have this in my Macari store. I think it's for $29. And I was going to buy an empty palette from Amazon, and a friend said, don't order a palette. I'm going to gift you a palette. And so someone gifted me this Divina Cosmetics palette, which houses very beautifully the 3 Triochrome shadows, and you can fit 3 other square shadows in here or even round shadows in here. So this is in my Macari store. I think it's listed for $29. Someone made an offer and I was like, no. And so, but taking those out of here, if you're one of my riders, if you're here on my channel and you see something in my Macari store, send me a message that who you are on YouTube and we can negotiate, because normally I don't lower prices because people ask, because I know they're trying to just circumvent shipping costs, which is fine. Like, you know, we all would like to save money, but if you're one of my peoples here, if you're one of my troll kin, send me a message and let me know and we can work something out. And so these are, because I was looking like what shadows can I put in here that will give shimmer and also go with the palette. And so again, these 3 in this column are from the Heather Alston Adept Cosmetics palette. So I'm really excited about it. And the reason I didn't want to just scrap the entire palette is because I like Natasha Denona's Creamy Matte Formula. And I was looking at these shades and I was thinking that I can use the mattes in here with the Mothman. We got beans and booty. I always have to say that. But this isn't, it's only 2 mattes in here. This one just looked kind of funky on me. Actually, I think this is the one that just blanked out whatever shadow I put it on top of. And when I use it for transition, it just like blanked out everything. And this is the only other matte in here. And so I was thinking, let me get the glare off. You see these mattes? Wouldn't they go nice with this, right? And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to experiment. We're going to do an easy look with Mothman, and we're going to put in some of the mattes from the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette. One thing that I liked about this also, another thing I liked about it, is that when I used the top row, because I would look at this and think that this, and these 2 would make me look ashy. They did not make me look ashy. And so I was excited about that. And so I'm going to prime my lids. I'm going to put on the Fenty eyeshadow. What am I saying? The Fenty primer. We're going to do 3 pumps, which is probably too much. And we're going to, oh, I almost dropped it. I am rushing, which I don't know why, because I can just edit out if it gets too long, right? And we're going to take 3 pumps of the foundation. I do think that was too much. And we're going to blend that together, and we're going to put that all over. This is a metal palette from Inglot. This is an e.l.f. Cosmetics, and it says buffing foundation brush. And so we're just going to smush this together. I feel like I haven't used this in a little while. You know what it is? Because I haven't done videos in a while. Well, not, you know, full face. This just creaked again. This is not going to last much longer. Every time I use it, I hear it creak. And so this is about to die. But it was an inexpensive brush, and I purchased it knowing it wasn't going to last too long, just based on experience when I've had other e.l.f. brushes. But I really do like this for foundation, and it being so expensive, like $6 I think it was at the time, and I think I had like points or something. But for the price it was, I think I ordered 2 of them, and knowing that they weren't going to last long, like, I'm okay with that because it is an inexpensive brush. And even if I get 6 months out of it, I'm okay with that. I love this foundation. I'm not going, and that was too much. I should have just used 2 pumps of each. I have forgotten that I don't need 3 pumps, and not that I need any of this, and neither do you, because we're beautiful the way we are, even without paint on. So I'm going to hiccup, excuse me, so rude. So we're just going to leave that. We're not going to put any more on. We're not going to put on concealer. I'm going to cut away and put on eyeshadow primer, and then we're going to come back and get started with the looks. And I do plan to do a simple look, maybe just 2 shades, 2 of the Mothman shades on each eye. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do a 2-tone look or not, just to see what we can do mixing the Mothman palette with the mattes and Triochrome. But I am really excited about it. So I'm going to edit out priming the eye, and then we will come back and get started with the look. I will remind you all that except for the 2 mattes, these are all like dual chrome or multi-chromes. And so that's challenging for me because I have color perception issues. And these being multi-chromes and dual chromes, I don't know what they're going to look like when I put them on my lid. I do remember this one showing up really kind of funky on me, and I was just like, ooh. But other than that, though, I do like the looks I did. We're going to take this shade here, which is Gimme Them Beans. This is an Hourglass 3 brush. I was going to do just the same look on both eyes, but part of me wants to do another 2-tone look. I am really enjoying doing that. I looked at this way because, did I pick up the right shade? This is Gimme Them Beans. I thought I went into this one. That's why I was like, why is this looking orange? But this is this shade. And you see how it looks green? And then it's not. And so that's why when I initially looked at it, I thought it was this one, because I'm seeing green and it's orange with a green shift. Y'all, this palette be taking me through some changes. And it was interesting when I did the other 2 looks, and I'll link it up here in the cards. Because of the shifts, I didn't know what was going to happen. And it's best when you're using dual chromes and or multi-chromes to just put 1 shade across the lid so that you'll see the shifts. And I think I use like 3 or 4 shades like I normally do. And it's not ideal, but it was very interesting. And now we're going to go into, ooh, we're going to come down here. This shade is Pleasant Legend, and this is purple, but then it's not, this shade right here. And we're just going to flip this brush over. So it is just like, I don't know like what's going to happen when I put these shadows on, because they look different. And I do have the paper still over here that says what the descriptions, excuse me, of the shadows are. That's kind of nice. That's a Pleasant Legend. That's a nice shade. This one right here. It's like kind of grayish. Again, that's this one. And so we're gonna just leave this We're doing this to blend them together. We're going to flip back over and go back into Gimme Them Beans because I want to pull that over just a little bit more, and this will help further the blend. And so that's this eye. Ooh, I like that. Okay, let me calm down. We're going to take a clean one. That was, and this is an Hourglass number 3 brush, and I like it because it's wide, and as you can see, I can do a large part of my mobile lid and into my transition quite easily. I'm trying to think of what to do. I'm thinking to do this one and this one, but then will they show up that way? And I seem to remember, I think this one showed up as a matte on me, or I used it as a matte. So I'm trying to remember, and I don't. Red Thighs, Thick Thighs, I was able to use that as a deepening shade, as a matte. But we're going to take, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with this palette. We're going to take Phenomenon, this shade here. And this is, I see a deep green this way. And then it turns this shade. So if you can see how that's turning, this shade right here. And then it's this one. And so this palette is fun because you don't know, or I don't know how they're going to show up. And it would help if I swatched them first to put together a look. Even if I did just swatch them on my arm. That's a pretty shade. I am so happy I got this palette. This excites me, and it didn't bother me that it had just the 2 mattes. Because I'm like, I can just pair it with something else. And I have done all shimmer looks before. Just like I've done all matte looks before, so that's not a big deal to me. And then when the Triochrome palette, when I had that issue, I'm like, I'll use those mattes for this. And I will probably also use the mattes from the Pat palette, because those are just basic everyday mattes. I'm going to go into Goth Moth to put on the outer portion of the lid. That shade is pretty, but I don't know how it's going to show up, but we're going to put it on. And do I have fallout? I don't know. But this shade is a sparkly shade. Oh. And I don't like, I'm not going to say that. I do like monochromatic looks, but I don't prefer them for me. I'm going to flip back to the side with the first shade, flip back to the side with the second shade. And we're going to just use the top of the brush to blend that. And this eye is done too. This shadow is giving me fallout because I'm seeing specks. Do I have a brush here? No, excuse me for reaching across your face. But that shade gave me a lot of fallout. And I wasn't going to do powders and all of that, but I think I might, just to get this off my face. You know what? We're going to this palette foundation brush. And we're going to press some more of that here. So maybe it was a good thing. And this side doesn't have any, but just for the sake of keeping both sides even, we're going to just press this under here. So it was a good thing that we pumped out too much. So that did take away the fallout. That's nice. Alrighty, so let's keep it moving here. Put that brush away, So that is it for this palette. And we'll figure out lower lash line later, or do I just want to put something? No, let me just move on to not making a mess. Move on to the Triochrome palette, and we're going to use 2 Esum V33 brushes. So for this eye, we're going to take Scrap, this shade here, and we're going to tap straight into it. And we're just going to use that for like our outer V. And I think I should have used a more dense brush because this is the it's getting away from me because it is her cream to powder formula, and so they do work better for me. That's nice with a dense brush, but if you don't want it really saturated, a fluffy brush like this will work. I like this, but I do want to add more color here, and so I'm thinking about taking a more dense brush, or we can just we're going to leave it like this, and we're just going to drag some of it over into this area right here. If you have Mothman, if you have Triochrome, let me know what you think about it. And do you use Triochrome, excuse me, if you do have it, if you use the mattes in there for other looks. This is nice. That is nice, if I do say so myself. For this eye, I don't know what to take because it's orange and then grayish and then lavenderish or whatever colors those are. So I'm thinking this. I kind of want to do this one though. That one, let's start with, let's start with this one just to see what it does. This is Tungsten, and we're first going to just tap in a V situation. So I just want to see what it's going to do, and now we're just going to sweep it. I just want to see what it's going to do over that shadow. It actually just muted it. Okay. But again, like, it doesn't make me look ashy, and that's cute too. I do like how that looks. I'm going to take a clean one of those because I have quite a few of them. And now we are going to go into this one here, which is Manganese, and we're just tapping straight in, and we're just going to put that right here on the very outer corner. I'm going to tap in again. This is exciting to me because every time I have a vision for an eyeshadow look, it doesn't always come out right. And you see, I didn't actually plan this one out, so maybe that's why it's coming out nice, because sometimes when I plan them, it's just like, bro, this don't look right. And so I'm actually excited that I didn't overthink it. I didn't plan out what to use. I just sat here like other people do and be like, we're gonna just do this and do that. And I'm liking how it looks. I do prefer a darker outer corner, and I could make it darker if I took a more dense brush, but we're just gonna just do this like we did the other eye. So we're just keeping things even though it is two different looks. And it's not even a two-tone because we're not tying it in, but I guess I could put like a purple under here and put a green under here. I think I've done that before. I think I've done that quite a few times. And the fallout situation is still looking not there. I saw a couple specks, so we're just taking the same foundation brush and just pressing. So that is it. That is kind of it. I'm going to take that first brush, this one that we use for this shade, and we're just going to tap straight in again, and we're going to sweep that up here because this is just a little too much blank space for me. With this one, it is blending upward more. This side wasn't, and this looks nice right here. So you see what I mean? Even though this shade is one that would typically make me look ashy, it doesn't. And that's exciting for me. That is perfect. Part of me wants to take this one because it looks a pale lavender in the pan and to put it right here, but I don't want to mess up the look. So we're just going to leave this like this. We are not trolling anything out today. We're going to take an olive green and we're going to put over here, and we're going to take a deep purple and put over here. Is that color? Yes. And I'm going to try and do this as quick as possible. Question for you. I just realized I didn't ask you any questions this video so far. Do you put gel liner on your lower lash line before you put eyeshadow on your lower lash line? Or do you just put shadow on your lower lash line? Both work for me. The gel liner does give something extra for the shadow to stick to, but the shadow usually will stick anyway. So it's just sort of like a little insurance. And it also intensifies the eyeshadow that I put under here. And I do that instead of adding more primer or wetting my brush or any of that. And even though it is a tad tacky, just a little teeny tiny bit from the foundation, so that'll help it stick too, because I didn't powder down, because the Fenty, the face part is dry. You know why this is still a little bit damp? Because I was gonna put the wrong color over there, because I did tap the foundation brush over there again. And so it's not necessary, but it's just something that I like to do. I'm not going to do inner rims because my eyes are sensitive from a look I did yesterday. And so we're going to take two, do I want to still try and use these Waiver brushes? I'm trying so hard to get a feel for these Waiver brushes. And every time I use them, I end up throwing one away because it's just not worth it because they scratch my skin. But we're going to try it one more again. These are the number 320s. And these are the ones I use for lower lash line. The number 316s are the ones I was using for upper lash line. So we're going back into the palette. We're going to take this shade here that we use for outer corner here. We're going to take this and that's going to go under this eye. And I actually could have used, feels like something is in this eye, which it shouldn't be because I didn't just put powder over there. And this brush, going like this, it is scratching my skin. The tip of the brush is scratching my skin. And I do try to use the side of the brush, but even sometimes doing that, it's just a scratchy brush. I'm throwing this away, and I just messed up. I'm throwing this away. I'm throwing this away right now because I keep trying them and every time I use them, I'm just like, no. And we're going to take this shade. This is a clean one, and this is going to go over here. These were $2.99 either at Marshall's or TJ Maxx or both. In my experience, they sell the same stuff. And if they don't have it, like at that time, they will. So it seems like they get different stuff in every week. And the closest Marshall's to me, I asked the person in the cosmetic section, how often do they restock? And she said ongoing. And every time I go in there, I'm throwing this away too. And every time I go in there, like they are always restocking and reorganizing. This is the brush with this shade, which was over here. So we're going to buff this here. This is just a habit. Also, if you use gel liner and then you put a shadow under your eye with a thin brush like we did, because this for me blows it out. So you see how this is high and tight? This is bringing the shadow down, it's blending it down. If you do use gel liner and then you put a shadow on, this is the brush we use for this shade, because I'm hoping this will blow this down and fix this right here. Do you then go back with the brush you used for your transition shade? If your transition shade is the color you put underneath, do you use that same brush to buff out, or do you just leave it? There was a time when I would just put gel liner underneath my lower lash line and just leave it, but then when I put shadow, I like how that looks too, and that did fix that. And I do like how it blended it down. I really like this shade. So that is that. We're going to, I'm digging these looks. So what we're going to do for liner, oh my goodness, I have quite a few different liners. This is Macro Violet. We're going to use that one. I was thinking it was Bougie, which is this one. This is the one, it's the dual chrome, but it doesn't always show up well over colorful eye looks. I love it on its own. I have a video, I'll put it in the cards here, where I experimented with it and it was really nice. So we're going to take Macro Violet Fluid Line and we're going to put that over here. And is this brush going to work? This is a Zoeva brush. This is the 316. You know, cheaper is not always better. Sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. And I admit it could be user error. For me to get a thin line with this brush, I just really have to use just the tip of the brush. But for me, when I do my liner, at some point, like this area right here, I lay the brush sideways. So I use the tip to get in the corner and then let it go sideways to thicken the line just a little bit across the mobile lid part. And then taper it over here, but then make it thicker on the outer corner. And so sometimes it works, and then other times it's uncomfortable. But so far this time, and maybe because we're using a gel, which may be softening the bristles, but the ones I use for my lower lash line, those hurt me. So we did like a small wing, but it doesn't look like a double wing because it did just blend in with the shadow we used for our lower lash line. And we're going to take, this is from Melt. This is another 316 Zoeva. And this is Fortune. I've been using this a lot. I've been using this a lot more than Slate. And for no, I just dropped the lid. And this is a gel, so this needs to stay closed. So I'm just going to turn it upside down on top of a cloth. And this, so this is Fortune again. I really like this one. And I do use this quite a bit. And we're going to put this over here. This is creamier. Is it creamier than the Fluid line? I think they're about the same. I want to say this, the Melt one is a little more creamy. And so it does get away from me easier than the Fluid line does. The drier formula are the paint pots. And they're designed as shadow bases, which may be why the Fluid lines are designed to be, I messed up right here. The Fluid lines are designed to be eyeliners. And so that explains the difference in consistency. But the Melt ones are very creamy. Now this one you can see the wing because it's a darker shade than down here. Or even if it was lighter, it would show up where these two purples, they blend in together. I'm surprised I talked through that. I gotta remember to get that lid. We're going to Max Stack Mascara. This one is Viva Violet. This one is Squirt. So we're going to put the green one. This is exciting to me. I was wondering if I will ever go back to using a black mascara and a black liner for my upper lash line, because I have not done that in a while now. And I was talking to Leslie today about different color mascaras, and I sent her a picture of the look I did with this, and she was like, wow, that does show up. This green is no joke. And I did put on about 3 coats, only because down here I couldn't see it. And when I looked up, I was like, whoa. I was just like, whoa. Because normally I just do the 1 coat. But this, I am really digging it. And so I'm going to put on 3 coats of the Viva Violet, or at least additional coats, to see if it shows up as well as this one, which I kind of don't think it will because it's not a bright shade like this one. Oh my gosh. This, yeah, so we're doing two-tone even though we didn't intend to, because we're tying in the green with this green and the reddish burgundy with the outer corner, not so much the inside. But this I'm liking this. And so this is Viva Violet. And we're going to see if we can get this. You know what? I just realized I didn't put on the Lancome Cils Booster Mascara Primer. I didn't use that in the last couple looks. But that mascara, I like the effect it gives. I like the wand. And when I initially tried the black one, the first stack mascara they came out with, I wasn't sure about it because the wand is kind of plasticky, but it doesn't feel plasticky like the Il Makiage and what was that other mascara? I think it might have been the e.l.f. one that was gifted to me. I didn't like how those wands feel, but this doesn't feel plasticky like those did, but it also doesn't feel like a brush, but it's not bothersome. The other ones were bothersome and I just could not get down with that. And so as you see, even though it is a bold color, it's not bright like the green. So let me know though if it's still showing up. I mean, I do see it showing up, and it's not going to show up as bright as the green because it's not as bright as the green. If you're having trouble getting mascara on your inner or outer corners, just spike it. and that'll cover it. Or if you have a clump like right here in the middle somewhere, just spike it and it'll take the clump out. Not that I have clumps, but that's just something I learned, just to spike it. Or if it looks like I'm missing coating certain lashes, just to spike it. Oh, look at that. I didn't even do the bottom yet. I don't know how many coats was that. I think 3. I am liking these, and I do hope that they make these permanent. They said they were only going to make 500 of each. I think they were testing it to see if people were going to sell it. If you say something's limited edition or it's only a certain number, Boo Boo the full troll clown here like me will buy one of each. And I did buy one of each. Because I wanted the different color mascaras, and I'm like, oh, they're only making 500. And sometimes stuff does sell out quick, certain brands or whatever. So I'm like, let me just get all 3 of them. And I'm glad I did. The other one is a blue, and this is called Cobalt. Cobalt. And you know what I just realized? This is the black one, but the ones with color are larger. But I did give this, I think, as a free gift or a gift with purchase or something. So maybe that's why, I don't know. I didn't purchase that. So I'm trying to figure out a lip. What lip will go? You know what? I can do Eleanor again. Oh my gosh, I've been using Eleanor a lot. Yeah, we're gonna just put on Eleanor because it'll tie in with this green up here, even though I know y'all what's happening to me. Miss don't like the matchy matchy. I'm just trying to think of what will go with both looks. The green will go with this green up here, and it'll go with the green here. All right, Eleanor, let's do this, baby. I did my entire lip without dipping back in. You know what? Eleanor is seriously growing on me. So much so that as I was doing my lip, I'm thinking, once June comes in, because I want to know by for the month of May, like if I want to go on their website and see what other color liquid lipsticks they have, and believe it or not, I'm thinking of like a gray, which I don't know if it will wash me out or not, but I do think it would add to a look the same way Eleanor does, even though when I first wore it, I'm like, it's nice, but I've been using it a lot. Anyway, we're not doing a cheek situation. We're not doing anything else. This is the look. And even without a cheek situation, you see my natural contour. You see where the light is still bouncing off of my face, off my forehead, off my nose. And I don't have highlight on. I have nothing else on my face, just the primer and the foundation. And so you don't always need to do all the things. So that'll be it for this video. Let me know what you think of this experiment using, let me open this back up, Mothman palette, Beans and Booty, with the Natasha Denona Triochrome mattes. We used 2 shades on each lid for Mothman, and we used 1 matte, I am so awkward, 1 matte on this eye, and we used this matte and this one on this eye. And so let me know if y'all think this was a good idea that I had to use the mattes in here with Mothman. And also, if you want to see me do looks with this again with the Heather Austin shades, I do think they'll look similar to the other looks. Let me know what you think of this look. Let me know what you think of these palettes. Let me know what you think of the mascaras. Look, they show up. Look, they show up. And then the lip. So even though we didn't intend to do a 2-tone, we did. Green, purplish, whatever this shade is. Even though this is a different shade, that orange. And the lip to tie in with the eye look. Thank you for being here, helping me experiment using these 2 palettes together for the first time. Let me know if you would like to see me do a look with this basic, I was about to curse, basic palette. And let me know too about if you use gel liner on lower lash line and then put shadow on lower lash line and then buff it out, or if you just use gel liner, or if you just put shadow on your lower lash line. So that is the question for today's video. I love interacting with you all in the comment section, and that's why I always have a question. because y'all be answering and we be chit-chatting. I really enjoy that, and I do appreciate that. If you're here and you made it this far, click the like button. If you made it this far and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Click the notification bell if you don't think it'll be overwhelming, because I do upload at least 4, sometimes 5, 6 days a week. So it can be overwhelming a little bit, I think. So just to know that. So if you don't click the notification bell, that's fine. But yeah, if you're still here, go ahead and subscribe. Browse through my playlists. And again, thank you. And as always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. You will see me in the next video.